What's cracking, hustlers? What's going on? It's Tuesday. Still getting it in. Still on the gridiron. Proceed to the route. How's everybody doing? Been at it since 8 this morning. It's all good. So how's everyone doing, man? So I just want to start a topic basically. Is the loudest the weakest? Um, it's just something I was told as a child. My stepdad basically telling me the loudest dude in the room is always the weakest dude in the room. And I've heard this many times over, that the loudest is always the weakest. So just basically want to get your guys' take on what you think it is. Is the loudest the weakest? Or is it, because I see a lot of people, they get out of character. You know what I mean? They get real amped up, get real dramatic. So I don't know. They wolf. They get themselves all pumped up. I want to ask you all, what do you think? Is that a sign of weakness? Or, you know what I mean? Or no? Is it just somebody in their feelings way much? I don't know. Tell me, because like I said, when I was younger, I was perceived as the loudest was always the weakest. And in prison, just to give you guys a backdrop about basically in prison, when you get loud and get out of character like that, it's very frowned upon. You know what I mean? People look at you a certain way for that. Think that we'll look at it as quite, let's be quite honest, they'll call it a weakness. It'll be basically called a weakness. So that's why I wanted to know. Do you think the loudest in the room is the weakest in the room? Or is it okay to get all crazy and flash out, get all loud, and get real out of character? Like make a real dramatic scene. Is that frowned upon, or is that basically no? It's all good. So, like I said, in my time, my era, it was very frowned upon to get out of character. And like I said, my father used to tell me back in the day, loudest one's always the weakest one. So I always took that, you know what I mean, to heart. And basically, when any real shit was really gonna jump off, I really didn't let my emotions be shown. And serves you quite well, you know what I mean? Now you see people on here, they flash out, they go as far as to even threaten people, which is crazy to me because we're on a chat. To threaten somebody, in this kind of thing, it's a little crazy in my perception of the whole thing. So is it out of character? Is it frowned upon or not? Or you think it's all good? Because I see today's youth, as well as even some, and I'm not gonna just put it on the youth because I can't do that shit. I gotta call, older cats out as well for flashing out and getting loud and getting out of character. Like I said, in my time, in as a part of my culture, it's frowned upon. It's not a good look. So I wanted to, see what everyone else thought. Get your guys' take on it and how you feel about the whole situation. Uh, Quite honest with you, I've seen dudes flash out in prison. I've seen dudes do it on here. I've had dudes personally threaten me on here when face to face and us being on a live together, they were super cool. But when I was in the chat, they would flash out, threaten me, make empty promises. And to me, that's quite, it's crazy. It's crazy to me because there's no way for me to get my hands on you or you on me. So what's the point of showing my emotions, getting all bent out of shape? I mean, quite honestly, we don't know each other. Um, Everybody has an opinion, and not everyone's opinion is going to line up with you, you know? So I basically, like I said, seen dudes do this in prison. It usually doesn't serve them very well. They get, you know, they get jacked off. They get fucked off, basically. They get fucked off and get smashed. Um, and it usually holds true. The loudest dude is always the guy who gets smashed. Like, man, he talked a big game, and until it was time to really get into it, be about that business. And I'm pretty sure we all seen that. Dudes get super loud. And I don't know if it's a tactic to like deter, because I can't imagine someone thinking that they're actually instilling fear in somebody. And there are some people that you could probably do that to. You know what I mean? And we know you're not gonna do that to a real street motherfucker. Anybody who's grew up around any kind of violence, been in the streets, you're not just gonna cur them out with your mouth. You're not just gonna make them, you know what I mean, bitch up because you got loud. They're someone gonna test you. You may get away with it a few times. So we used to have, we have we have a shoe program here in Colorado, and it's basically it's called CSP. And CSP, you were locked down 23 hours a day. I have a short on there, and there's a guy who was in there. His name was Carlos Baca. And Carlos said there's maybe out of all these prisoners, 2,000 prisoners, 1,000, whatever that facility holds, that only about 100 to 100 and maybe 50 convicts are in that solid dudes in that place. And the rest are check-ins, chomos, punks, and whatnot. So what Carlos was saying was real true. Carlos is doing a life sentence here in Colorado. He's an older man now, but I'm sure his outlook on the whole situation is the same. So what we used to call CSP, and those of you who did time in Colorado, correctional facilities know this to be true. We used to call it a South Soldier's Paradise. So it when you're in prison, there's a term called South Soldier. You know what I mean? And those of you, like I said, who have been incarcerated, some of you may be familiar with this term. So South Soldier, basically, I'll put you on. A South Soldier is a person who's going to sit in his cell. He's locked in his cell, and he's going to literally try to irritate and agitate and get into mud, like just try to get people worked up, talk crazy, and really talk like in a way like you guys are able to really get physical and smash each other. That's a South Soldier. You can't get your hands on him, but he'll sit there behind the walls and the doors locked and bark and bark and bark and bark and bark. Like, a dog in a cage that, literally can't get at you, but he'll sit there and just bark. I can't read the comments. Let me see. Are there any comments, man? Okay, there's my brother Carlos. Brother Carlos, man, I was blessed to chop it up with my brother. There's the homie Dummy Dodgers. That's my bro. Hoorah, check him out. Hoorah. Hoorah, you got to get on these vertical lives, my brother. I was trying to tap in with you the other day, tell you about these vertical lives, homie. Get a lot of people to your channel. So anyways, a South Soldier is a person that will sit there behind the walls and doors and bark, tell you everything he's going to do. But when it comes down to it, you know damn well he can't get out. You can't get out and get at him. So he finds safety in that. So he feels like he can say whatever he wants. Now, I see a lot of this on YouTube, that people say whatever they want in this chat very freely, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? But is it a reflection of yourself when you act like that, when you flash out? And is it a sign of weakness? That's what I want to know. Because dudes that I know that were really serious and really about something, they didn't get loud, man. They just didn't. Small shit didn't affect them. You could tell these dudes had been in some real shit, because the little bullshit, they didn't dramatize it and get dramatic about it. They were just chill, very meek individuals. And I think that's when you know you're really in the presence of somebody that is a very serious person, that carries themselves a certain way, doesn't get shook when somebody threatens them, doesn't get shook when somebody barks at them, and is just very secure with who they are. I think it shows a sign of your you being secure with who you are, and that no matter how anybody moves, no matter what anybody says, it's not going to push you off your square. It's not going to make you act out of character to where you feel like you have to get loud and aggressive. So, there's really, quite frankly, there's really killers out there, man, that really don't have to get loud or feel a type of way just to fuck you off. They don't have to feel that way. They don't have to get into that place where they get all crazy and amped up to really handle you or do any kind of real violence to you. So that's why I want to know, is it okay to flash out, get loud, get out of character, and just you know, do foul shit just because somebody can't, physically put their hands on you? Because I feel a type of way about it. I'm gonna be honest with you because I just wasn't raised like that. You know, it's funny because every time that I would get into beefs or have problems, I would never get loud. It would be almost like I'm laughing at that person, and it seemed like that would agitate him that much more. You know what I'm saying? So when I was able to laugh, let me see, my brother Josh is up in here. Let's see, man, brother, forgive me if I can't read this. So I'm driving. I'm on the highway. Gotta be careful. Safety first, then teamwork. But anyways, like I said, I didn't have to get in that place. If we was gonna get violent, it was gonna happen, and I don't know. I guess I have like a laughter about me. I'll make a joke out of it, and it's just what I do. I think that person gets more pissed off, more agitated if you don't bite into what they want. You know what I mean? There's my homie Jerry Fuentes, and I seen my boy. I seen Jerry stay very calm in some things. You know what I mean? When he was getting, you know what I mean, bombarded, he stood calm. He held his mud, and that's exactly how you're supposed to carry yourself. Someone got out of character with him. We ain't gonna say no names because that dude's a chump, and we don't need to even address him. But my boy handled himself quite well. Let's be honest. Jerry carried himself very well, and then handled himself like he was supposed to. He made a joke out of it, and it infuriated that dude that to see that Jerry wasn't taking him serious. It infuriated him. The dude was inebriated, whatnot. Does that really matter? I don't know. You guys be the judge. That's why I get on here to talk to you guys and get some insight. Maxine, what's up? Salute. Forgive me, guys, if I can't read this. I'm driving. So that's why I want to know. I want to bring it to you guys to see what you let's discern this together. Is this okay to get loud and flashed out, or is it frowned upon? And that's in cliques and anything. And back in the day when you were in a gang, was it okay to get loud with people? Uh, like I said, I don't think it was really frowned upon with my homies. You know what I mean? It was just something that I would hear echo with my dad. I would hear my dad's voice, like, that's not how you act. You know what I mean? Like, and he was like that. He was a violent man. This was a violent dude, but you would never see him flash out and get loud. It was actually, like I said, I think there's something to be said for someone that is meek, that meekness that shows that control, where they're in that uncomfortable situation. You know what I'm saying? And the only way to do that is if you get comfortable being uncomfortable, man. And some of us know about that. Being in prison, serving years in prison, incarcerated. You got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Man, I wish I could read these chats. It says the loudest one in the room is absolute. Is definitely. There you go, Josh. There you go. I agree, my brother. I agree wholeheartedly. I think that's a sign of weakness. I think that's somebody that's trying to deter from any kind of physical altercation. They're trying to deter somebody. I'd be honest with you. When somebody starts doing that, I'm more worried about the dude who's quiet. I'm more worried about the dude who just doesn't. His face expressions don't change. His demeanor doesn't change. To me, that is a whole different type of. That's actually what would worry me. It's always good to see you, Maxine. Thank you for always tapping in. I appreciate you. I really do. Um, So, like I said, I've had dudes flash out on me on here. I've had a dude threaten me. Basically told me he's gonna send some dudes. It's funny. It's funny. I'm not hard to find. Um, I look at that dude as quite emotional. I see dudes get on here and they get very in their emotions about what people say on them on this thing. They on this YouTube, what people think of them, what people say about them. To me, that's quite, I'll be honest, it's clown shit. It's clown shit because I don't know anybody enough for my feelings to get hurt from someone saying something to me off the air. And if someone's gonna make a funny video about me, I'll be the first one to laugh at it. You know, Vegas prison, not Vegas. I'm sorry, Texas prison stories. You know, OG released a video, and this is just for me to show you how somebody reacts. Released a video of Texas prison stories saying, "Hey man, that was some cold shit. What you did about me on that video, but in the same sense, it was funny as fuck." And that's how you take it, man, because you don't know who's doing that enough to get hurt and feel kind of way because they don't know you. I'm gonna definitely read this chat when I stop this truck, man. I always like what Josh has to say. My brother, I'm gonna email you again. Again, I'm gonna email you again. You have my phone number, but I'm gonna send you another email, Josh. So you for sure have it. But hit me back, my brother. We gotta touch it. There's Fume. Fume, what's up, my brother? Salute to my brother Fume 209. The after party. Make sure you check him out. Go sub up. Yeah, Fume, these vertical lives, man, they get a lot of people in the algorithm, brother. It goes into your shorts. You do it right from YouTube. So don't use your StreamYard, just do a vertical live right off of YouTube. You can't bring nobody in, but you get hella viewers for sure. So it's a good way to get people, in on your channel. But so let's get back to the topic. I believe the loudest one in the room is always the weakest one in the room. The person who's always trying to intimidate, always trying to tell you how crazy they are, how bad they are, what they did, who they've killed, who they shot up, who they rode on. It's just, I don't know. It's not a good look, man. And it sends up red flags. Now that person may be telling the truth. That may just be how they carry themselves. They're loud, they're obnoxious, whatever. But to me, in my background, the way I was raised, that's a sign of weakness. That's a red flag. And I believe the youngsters nowadays call them J cats. I didn't even know this term. I've never heard this term before until I came to YouTube. So I was never hip to it. I heard it on YouTube and then realized they're basically what we used to call them back in the day were knacks. We call them knacks. And a knack is basically not a convict. You an inmate or a dub. And like my homie Dummy Dodgers, what do? We suck it. We sucker duckers. We don't fuck with suckers, and you know what I mean. We trying to duck these motherfuckers. Dummy Dodgers. I'm not on that bullshit. You know what I mean? Not trying to play tough guy with nobody on YouTube, but I'm damn sure not going to be threatened. So I'll let the situation dictate what happens. And like I said, I don't really think much of it. To me, they're just empty promises, and I'm always disappointed. So again, I just want everyone to like is the loudest one in the room the weakest one? I believe so. I believe so in my time, in my era. Now that may have changed. Like I said, that's a term that in prison we used, which was called South Soldier. A South Soldier barking behind the doors, knows damn well you can't touch him. I've had this happen to me in prison, man. Got into it with these individuals, and not gonna, clown. Got into it with these individuals, and we started had our little problems, and we got in the hole. We had our little scuffles, tussled a little bit, and we all ended up in the hole. And what was crazy is, in the hole, you get to go to yard every day. They put you in a little dog run. You're literally in a dog kennel with a dip bar and a pull-up bar. It's literally a dog kennel. That's what it is. It's a dog kennel, and it sucks. So those big dog kennels that you see at like Home Depot and Lowe's and shit, they put you in those damn things. They'll put you in this little ass yard outside with a wall, and they build like fucking 10 of those dog kennels, 5 of those dog kennels, and they bring inmates out and they give you your hour a yard. Little ass space. It's sorry as hell. It sucks. But I remember we got into it with these dudes. They was another gang. They were considered a STG. I'll give the story up later on that on my channel. Basically, another STG. Um, End up in the hole because we had our little mix, and basically, I'm sitting waiting to go to the hole. I'm cuffed up, and the guards are releasing another dude to take us all to the yard. And I'm standing in front of this dude's cell, and I look at him, and he's at his cell door, and he goes, "What's up?" And he yells out his hood. He yells out his organization, and I laugh. I fucking laugh. It's funny to me because literally cops are right there, dude. Right, they're right here. So you're literally like you're fucking dry snitching at that. So he's like talking shit at the door, and I was acting like I couldn't hear him. So I'm like, huh, what? And then I go, oh, okay. And I looked at him and I shook my head and I said, hey, homie, you got me fucked up. I go, I don't run my mouth through the doors. Basically let him know you're a fucking clown, homie. So we serve our whole time, bro. Serve our whole time. Lo and behold, about a month and a half later, we both get out of the hole. I catch this motherfucker in the yard. And I walk up on him and I said, what was all that shit you was saying in the hole? What was you telling me? And his whole demeanor changed. I don't got no problems. I just want to squash it. I don't want no beef. Brother, you were just talking mad shit, bro. You were just getting loud in front of the cops. What do you mean you don't want no beef? Mild Tide, that's Mild Tide Madness. Okay, so Jay says, brother, but that's the thing, Jason. It's not even, it's looked down upon in prison, bro. When you get out of pocket and get loud like that, bro. Depending on what culture you're part of, bro, it's really frowned upon, brother. If I was to do that, brother, to me, you're letting everyone know your business. You're letting everyone know you have a problem, as well as the police. I agree with that. I think violence would have there would be a very, yeah, quick. Brother, yeah, I have no doubt that would happen. I think that's a very true statement. That would reduce probably violence by half, bro. As long as everybody, like said, they did it like a state ish, dudes would start finding a way to rob the other dudes, though. You know how that shit goes. So basically, like I said, it's looked down upon in prison, bro, depending on what culture you're part of and who you fuck with, dude. So like I said, getting out of pocket and talking like that, bro, I just I don't take much into it. To me, it doesn't mean much. Um, People are gonna get loud. But back to the story. Basically, I caught this dude on the yard and he didn't want any problems. All that shit he was woofing in the cell didn't. After a month and a half, I guess he was over it. He didn't want no problems. He didn't want to see me. He's basically calling, and this is, I hate this freaking word. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Squash it. Squat. There is no squash it, bro. When you fuck around with somebody else and you decide to push the line on another man, or you know, shit on someone's character, whatever, you better be prepared to pay that due if it comes around. That's just like I said, and I'll say this time and time again. When shit like that happens, there has to be a reckoning. There is no squash it. Shit needs to be handled. And then if we decide to call it after that, then so be it. But there is no squash it. Doesn't exist. That doesn't even, I don't even, like I said, that doesn't in my vocabulary. So dude wanted to squash it. And I basically shit on his whole character, shit on him, let him know I called him every name you can call him that you would think disrespectful in prison. Called him a bitch, a punk. So some of the worst shit you can be called in prison, man. And he got called all of that and then some, and still didn't want to fight. So, like I said, it's just be very careful. People just talk crazy, man. Don't get in your feelings. Don't let nobody get you off your square. I had a little troll in here yesterday. I thought he was funny. I thought he was amusing. I don't take people serious that can't get on here and show me their face and basically let me know they're real motherfuckers. And even some of them that do show me their face, I don't take them serious either. But it's all good. Like I said, this is YouTube. This is entertainment. Be happy. Don't let nobody get you off your square, and just keep pushing, man. Just keep pushing, doing you. And if somebody talks bad about you in this thing, take it with a grain of salt, man. It's not that serious. It's not like it's your mom or your brother or somebody that really loves you saying this shit. It's basically just a stranger that we don't know, and you're never gonna meet them. I see a lot of people calling each other out for fades on this. Oh, we don't catch the fades. Okay, you're gonna catch the fade. Um, I don't know. I don't think people are letdowns, man. People will show you tell you all this, but show you nothing. So take it for what it's worth. It's coming from somebody you don't know. It's coming from a person that's basically, just a picture. They don't have a channel. They don't get on here. They don't talk. They won't get on the live. They won't. You drop the link for them. They won't do anything. It's okay to pretend to be a badass. Yeah, yeah, sure. Yeah, but it could only go so far, brother. Sooner or later, someone gonna test you. You know what I mean? And if that's the energy putting out that you're a badass, then so be it. That you're right. That's okay. It's okay to pretend to be a badass. We've seen dudes do it on here time and time again. But usually something happens. They burn out, crash out, something happens because that's the type of energy they get met with on here, man. Because what they're pushing out is the same thing that's coming back to them. And when it comes back, man, most of them dudes can't handle it. Like I said, I see dudes get up, they get hurt because somebody. I've seen content creators bang with each other because the content creator didn't check the dude. You didn't check the troll that was talking bad about me in your chat. So fucking what? Boo fucking who, bud? Well, fuck you and that troll. How about that? You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to check nobody. I'm not nobody's mama. I mean, you get in the chat, check that motherfucker. I'm not checking nobody. That's not what I do. You know what I'm saying? If somebody talks bad about somebody, then so be it, man. It's not my job. Now, if it's one of my carnals or one of my homies, that's different. If that's a troll getting out of line with my subs, that's different. But as far as another content creator, I think you're fair game, man. You're fair game. You opened your life up to come on this. You're telling your stories. You're talking your ish. We're fair game, man. Don't take it so serious. Everyone says it's just YouTube. Exactly, it's just YouTube. So when it happens to you and it comes full circle, take it with a grain of salt. But that don't always happen. So yeah, man, just keep your eyes open. You'll see stuff for what it is. And dudes get off their square, they get all flashed out. I kill you, you ain't shit. I'm a killer. I was in the cartel. Uh my head baked in the Arizona sun for 10 years, and now I'm dumb as fuck because my brain is fried. Uh, I'm better than everyone because I decided to get my life together at the age of 48 and barely move out of my mama's house. So, you know what? Take it for what it's worth and who the fuck it's coming from. Because, like, I'm going to be honest with you. With Daniel, not trying to hate on the dude, but, bro, you're not even on my level, my boy. You barely moved out of your mama's house. You barely stopped going to prison. Feel good, bad. Small victories, brother. Small victories, brother. But we're not the same, homie. I've been out of prison over 22 fucking years, homie. You know what I'm saying? 22 years I've been out of the joint, bro. I've already owned multiple houses. I don't live in an apartment. I haven't lived with my mother since I was 16 years old. So, real talk, brother. We're not the same. I actually raised my kids after I got out of prison. I was in all my kids' lives, and now I'm in my grandkids' lives. So, again, we're not the same, my boy. So, you may be certified, you may be telling the truth, you may be, you know what I mean? You may be, but the way is why people question you. I mean, the way you flash out, the way you get loud, the way you talk is exactly why people don't take you serious, homie. And that being said, it's what it is, bro. So maybe carry yourself a little better. Try not to threaten dudes. Um, real talk, bro. But this is YouTube again. So I don't really put much into it. So if a person flashes out and does dumbass shit, then I think it's in their character. That's what they do. Maybe they haven't been around all the seriousness they say they've been around. Maybe they have. And that's just how they deal with it. That's just how they carry themselves. So I'm open minded to say that very well might be, could be the situation. And who knows? It's YouTube. It is what it is. You can't control people, and nor am I trying to. So I think read some of this chat and then end this motherfucker. Let's see. Respects, my brother. Yes, sir. But respects to you guys, man. I'm just like I said. I'm just like I said. Is what it is, bro. Dude can threaten me, but it is what it is, bro. I don't take it serious, homie. That dude's got bigger problems than me. You know what I'm saying? All I did was say that, hey, bro, what your charges were, that's all bad, homie. I didn't call you a punk, a bitch, a rat. I didn't call you any of those bad things. When I got on your live, I didn't talk any kind of that craziness. I just basically said, why you all mad, homie? Why you in your feelings? You're mad because I don't met because I mess with a certain person or I talk or I communicated with that person. It's like, bro, what does that have to do with anything? Oh yeah, that's what he said. The friend of my enemy is my enemy. Okay, I get that, homie. Sun Tzu, homie, art of war. I get it. Yeah, I agree with that. Would I say friends? I don't know if we're friends. I'd say maybe acquaintances. Acquaintances, maybe. I don't know. Maybe you should have said the acquaintance of my enemy is my enemy. But you know what? Dude's kind of mental, bro. I think dude has a mental problem. I really do. I think he takes meds. I think he's paranoia, schizophrenic. Um, Pray for the dude, man. That's all you could do. I tried to talk some sense into him, and I even took some flack for showing him respect when I went to his life. Didn't I did Here's the thing. There's a difference between common courtesy and respect. I believe you really have to know someone to respect them. I believe you really have to interact with that person to have true respect. Now there is common courtesy, and he I gave him common courtesy. I think when somebody like foes, people who don't, even people who have drama with each other can be respectful, man, because there's a time and place for everything. And when somebody offers you to come into their platform to talk, it's up to you how you're gonna act, man. So if I would have went and flashed out, I think that would have been a big reflection on who I am. Is exactly why I didn't do it. I just basically asked him why he does what he does, and basically put the ball in his court and let him answer for his bad behavior. Now, not to say my behavior is perfect because I've got on here and I've trolled people. I clown. I joke around. I'm not gonna lie. I have a very weird sense of humor, and I'll clown and joke with the best of them. I try not to get out of pocket and make sure I know the lines that I'm joking on, and make sure that you know what I mean. You're not offending anybody or hurting anyone's feelings. You know, I don't mean no ill will towards anybody. When I say something and I think it's funny, it's not a disrespectful thing. I'm just having, I'm cracking, I'm joking. But respects to each and every one of you. You guys tell me, is the loudest the weakest, or is it quite the contrary? Maybe the loudest is the baddest. I have no idea. So I can't call it. I know how it was back in my day. That may be not today, but it is what it is. So do me a favor, hit that like if you like it. If not, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. And respects to each and every one of you. I hope you all have a blessed night. This is the Mile High Hustle, and I'm out.